So I'll be presenting about topics 1.2.12, just defining usability, and 1.2.13, which is identifying various usability problems in some of the devices. So accessibility, the definition of accessibility is the potential of a service, product, device, or environment to serve and meet the needs of as many individuals as possible. A system characterized by high accessibility can meet the needs of many people, while a system with low accessibility presents barriers to specific groups of people. Frequently, accessibility is studied in parallel with disabled people or people with special needs, and the use of various assistive technologies. Usability refers to the potential of a product, application, or a website to accomplish user goals. The term is not limited to computer science only, but it also extends to other products and services of all kinds. There are 8 factors that influence usability, which are complexity, effectiveness, efficiency, error, learnability, memorability, readability, and satisfaction. And all these 8 factors need to be assessed in a specific context of use, and I will be addressing these later on. Ergonomics, sometimes also referred to as human engineering. It is the design of safe and comfortable products, systems, processes, or using environment, specifically for people. And for example, computer hardware such as keyboards are shaped by ergonomic considerations in order to improve users' comfort. So the 8 quality components of usability that I mentioned before are as following, and I'll be briefly overviewing what these factors are. So complexity, it is assessed by looking at the amount of effort to find a solution and get a result. Effectiveness, it assesses the effectiveness of the program by comparing the user performance against a predefined level. Efficiency is measured through the task completion time after the initial adjusting period, with lesser time, meaning greater efficiency. Error is assessed by looking at the number of errors, type of errors, and time needed to recover from errors. Learnability is assessed by looking at the time used to accomplish tasks on the first use. Memorability is assessed by looking at time, number of button clicks, pages, and steps used by users when they return to the device after a period of not using it. Readability, comprehensibility, pretty straightforward as the name suggests, it's looking at the reading speed. And finally, satisfaction. It is looking at the attitude of users towards applications after using them, and it's very subjective, up to subjective interpretation and assessment of individual users. I will now be outlining some usability problems of modern devices, and so for GPS navigation systems, some potential problems might be small screen that doesn't really allow the user to see very well, low quality speakers, antenna with poor performance that makes it difficult to receive satellite signal, inaccurate geographical data or outdated ones, or insufficient routing software that causes inconveniences. For tablets, accidental touches that lead to undesired selections, and difficulty in learning different gesture features of various manufacturers, poor or bad scaling and zooming control, difficulties in using the control features, small side buttons, poorly written instructions. For gaming consoles, maybe the relatively small screens for some portable consoles that may cause problems for like viewing the game. The buttons may be too small, so that the control of it is made more difficult by that. And for most gaming consoles, because of the insufficient brightness, it is quite difficult to use outdoors. And finally, short battery life makes it difficult to I guess, carry some games around or use it for longer periods of time. For PCs, excessive keyboard use may lead to RSI, repetitive strain injury syndrome, or excessive use of a large, bright screen may cause eyesight problems or tire the eyes, especially like the blue lights that can be very damaging for the eyes and the retina. Poor room lighting conditions may lead to distracting reflections on the screen. The mouse of a PC is designed for right-handed people, making it difficult for left-handed people to use. And for digital cameras, incorrect calibration of touch screen menus may cause difficulties in the use. The need to hold the cameras vertically and not allowing this doesn't allow very convenient navigation through touch screens, and sometimes they add like the auto rotate screen option to increase usability. If a camera does not have a flash capability or is equipped with an inadequate one, then the user has to purchase and carry like extra hardware component and stuff. Again, a recurring problem seems to be the buttons, the small buttons for all the devices. And so, yeah, again, for digital cameras, likewise, small buttons may cause some difficulties in using and pressing. And some cameras require very specific software to connect with a computer and store or transfer files. When they don't have any drag or drop files option, and this may cause inconveniences for the user. For mobile phones, the keyboard of a mobile phone is very small, and the screen as well, it's very small, so it may result in many novice users, elderly users, or users with bad eyesight to struggle using it. And for some users, they don't really need all the special features, they just need a basic device for calls and SMS messaging. And for them, the mobile phones with all these complex features just increase complexity and actually decrease effectiveness and efficiency in using it. For MP3 devices, the buttons are small and the memory is insufficient, and most of these MP3 devices tend to be very fragile, and they also lack of a screen in those micro or shuffle devices. And the overall usability can be improved by the use of NLP and making the overall interface more intuitive for the users to use, so that people who are not familiar with technology can use them. So an example question like the following can be given. Identify and suggest measures to improve working conditions of secretaries and typists who use a lot of keyboard. And so you'd have to identify issues such as the RSI, which is repetitive strain injury syndrome, dry eyes, back problems, headaches, and suggest some measures which include taking regular breaks, using properly designed chairs, have wrist supports, and possibly wear blue light screening glasses. Thank you.